Hello friends, this is part 7 of Angular 14 series, and in this session I will discuss about the authentication token. How do we deal with the authentication token and how to use authentication token to fetch the subsequent request. Here in our example we'll discuss about the user details, and after fetching the user details we'll display them inside the template. Also, how to subscribe an observable inside template. Okay, so these are the things I'm going to implement today's session. And before diving to the Visual Studio Code, let me summarize the steps what I'm going to make the changes. Okay, so these are the steps we need to follow. So first one is the move account service to core services folder. Then we have to I will rename the account service to auth service, and then I will write one method load user to fetch the logged in user details, and then I will inject that auth service to the dashboard layout component to call the load user method, and then I will assign, or you can say I'll consider one user observable properties, or you can say variable, where I will assign the fetched user detail subscription, and then I will display, or you can say print in a user first name along with the role and profile picture. So these are the steps we need to follow. Okay, now let's first I will move this account service to the core service folder, and I will rename this account service to auth service, as well as this name of this class. I will use this auth service as well. Let me replace. Okay, now so for the time being I have written this method here, and I will replace this method with this. Okay, so let me remove this. So as of now there is no fancy anything, so only the user basic details endpoint is there, so I'm just calling that, and that endpoint actually described as that is get method. So now hover on this method, actually it is returning an observable with object. Okay, let me open that steps. Now write load user method to fetch login user details. Okay, that is fine. Now here how application will get to know the current user is logged in or not, or who logged in. According to that application will fetch the data, right? So for that I have to prepare one HTTP header. So this is the constant, and let's say headers, and this headers actually an object, and this object will have headers property, and this header property will have authorization property, and this authorization property will have the value as bearer token, BARRER. Okay, so that actually my API actually expecting like bearer token to be there. So that's what, if you wants to send the bearer token, then you have to mention this bearer keyword and then the token name. Okay, so that then space then token name. So for the token I have already stored inside that browser local storage. So I have to read that local storage dot get item, and then my token, that key name actually I kept. Let me check inside that login component TS file. There I can see the key name. Here is the key name we were set my token, so same thing we have to use here. That's all. Now I have to send this headers to this. So let's save this change, and now next point is inject auth service to dashboard layout component and call load user method. Okay, now open dashboard component TS file, and here I need to inject this. Now inside constructor I will call this dot auth context dot load user, and this load user is returning as an observable. The next step is to consider one user and a dollar variable here, user dollar, and observable which will be type of any as of now, and this dollar indicating is this variable will act as an observable, and this is, you can say, logical name. Everyone actually used to follow this, so that's what I'm also doing, or you can say we are also doing the same thing. Now what we need to do, I need to assign this the user details to this observable. Okay, now let's save this change. Now next step is to assign the observable to user dollar variable and subscribe inside template. Okay, now go to the HTML of this dashboard component HTML, and here I need to subscribe, right? So for that, this is header part and this is div part. So on top of this div I will consider ng container one element here, paste it. Now go top, and here I will use this star ng if, and now user dollar, and I will use here async operator. This actually help us to subscribe the observable. So now I will keep this within the parenthesis and I will rename as user. Okay, so this indicating as this observable will subscribe, and whatever response is coming, that object will hold inside this user variable. Okay, now I can use this variable wherever I want. Okay, let's check where I want to show the name. Let's say here you can say I can use the one bolt element, and here I can use this. Okay, so let's print this user object as JSON string as of now. And now next step is to display first name, role and profile picture. Okay, fine. Now let's save it and run the application in GS. Now open the browser. Okay, fine. So now I'll have to do the login. B2E@21. Let's sign in. Okay, now I have some problem here. Let's open the console. Okay, null injector error. Auth service is not, provider actually is not found by this app module. Okay, now actually this auth service I have injected here, but this auth service is not registered. Now if I go to the auth service, here actually it is not added as provided in. So let me register this inside. Okay, this is component. Okay, there is no module, so let me add this provided in with root, because I want this auth service instance to be only one. Okay, same error. Now it's time to no provider for HTTP client. Okay, now HTTP client is not there. Okay, if I check auth service, now here we are using the HTTP client. Okay, hold on. So as I moved this account service to this core folder, which means I have to register all the things inside this app module. So provider, app browser, okay, HTTP client module. Now let's go to the browser, v2e@21. Now see, now everything is working fine as expected. Now open the network here. Now I can see the details actually called up, and here is the details: first name, profile picture, role, user code. Now if I check the request header, let me increase this request. This is response header. Here is the request header. See, this authorization has been set, and bearer token also has been set. If I don't send this token, that means API won't allow you to fetch this user details. Let's prove that. Open that auth service, and if I change anything, if I don't pass, let's say I'm not passing this token, let's save it. Open the browser and see, here 401 status actually came. That means you are not authorized. So now if I see the header here, see, authorization only is having the bearer keyword but no token. So here unauthorized error actually came. Now let's save it. Now you can see you will get user details. Okay, so I guess you understood this part. Now let me quickly display this properties and all. But here I can see I actually written the code to display the user details over here. That is not visible. Okay, so here it is. So first name, so data property is there inside data property, and if we check in the network here, see, API actually sending three properties: data, ID, and message. So data, inside data actual user object is present. So go to that. Okay, so this is the get. Now what I need to do, I need to use pipe method and need to use the map operator from RxJS, API response, and return API response dot data. I want this method should return only the user info. Convert this as any, because this data actually this TypeScript compiler won't able to find out. So that is what I'm keeping this. Now let's save it. Now if I check that here, you can see now this actual object is present. Now first name. Okay, so let me quickly display that part as well. First name, dashboard component HTML, and here I will use dot this first name along with the role within bracket. So user dot role name. Now let's save this. I can see here the data, but actually it is not able to showing up inside this UI. Why? Let's see. Okay, so this bold, what is the text color here? Change the color as white. Okay, so now it is visible to the header. Let me quickly add the class name here, text white. This is bootstrap 5 class name. Here now you can see the name and role, and later on I will change this style with the profile picture here, but as of now this is okay. Now what next thing is, I need to display the profile picture, like this Chrome actually it is showing. So similar way I need to show the display picture. How do we show the display picture? I will show in my next videos, because to display this user picture, we need to discuss also the custom pipe. We need to have that. So how do we achieve? I will explain in my next video. So for that, stay tuned and be safe. And please, if you have any kind of doubt or any concern, please comment in the comment box. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.